Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the Nordcast Network. I am Nordic here with LeBlanc James here to go over our November 2025 tier list, where we're tier ranking all 32 teams based on their performance through November and so far overall this season. So we got 5 tiers here that we're going to look through. LeBlanc, would you like to explain the tiers for us?
For sure. Tier one Cup contenders are the teams who I think we believe are going to be legit contenders for the Stanley Cup come May and June. Guys who think like they can win the cup just playoffs starting tomorrow. Playoff contenders are teams I still think are going to be in the playoffs and get a little far further in the playoffs. Or might just make the playoffs in general. In the races, the teams that are either in a wild card spot or they're in that they're close to the playoff line or they're in the race, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of teams in this tier today.
Yes.
Knowing the standings. Subparts of teams who either they've failed to meet expectations or they've just been mediocre, but they're not as bad as the teams in the next tier, which is Febreze. Kind of staple on the page now.
Oh yeah.
When you stink, you pull out the Febreze.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so let's get started here. Starting off with the Anaheim Ducks. We're going to read off the record for these teams in the month of November, as well as looking at their overall record up to this point. So the Ducks went 9-6 in November. Right now, in the current NHL standings, they are 18-10-1 overall. I think Anaheim's been absolutely incredible, but I don't really know if I see them as like a real cup contender. I'm not going to lie to you, at least right now.
I would agree with you. I feel Anaheim is a playoff contender, though. They're first in the Pacific right now. Their Quenneville's return to coaching has just been fantastic. He's really molded this group into what they want to be. I really do like how they're playing, and like Josh Stahl is injured right now. Like they don't have the starting goalie right now, and they're still playing fantastic.
Yeah, they're still scoring a lot of goals,
and they're scoring a lot of goals too. They're getting good play from Peter Mrazek and Billy Husso. Leo Carlson's on another level. McTavish looks like he's taking a step forward. It's just really, really good. This really good team this year. I feel like they will be a playoff contender for sure.
Yeah, again, I think that like it takes time to be a cup contender. I think maybe like in a few years from now, like we could be looking at them right now as a cup contender, but like this is their first year playing really well. I'm not sure if they're there with the best of the best guys just yet, but they are up there in the standings, so you could make an argument for it for sure. Next up, then the Boston Bruins. They went 9-5 in the month of November, and so far this season, 17-13 overall. I really don't know how Boston is winning games. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like David Pastrnak, Morgan Geekie, and Jeremy Swayman are the reason why they're winning games. I think for me, I think they're in the race. I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say, I was going to put them in the race. I don't know how this Boston team is winning games. Like, genuinely, I watch these games. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, how are they winning these games? Like, I think it's because Morgan Geekie's like on like another level.
Geekie's on another level with Pasta. Like, they're literally a one-line team. That one line is outproducing everybody.
Yeah, that one line is absolutely cracked. So I think Boston, like, they're in the fair spot. Like, do I think they make the playoffs? I really don't know. Like, I think, like...
that's why I'm in the race. Like, I can't sit here today and say, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. I can't guarantee that. Also, I want to say Boston's also getting good play from Swayman, also getting good play from Korpisalo when he's put into action as well, I would say.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal here for sure so far. I've really liked his play throughout this season. And he's been good, again, a big part of why they've been better than they were last year. And they are getting better goaltending, which is why they are in the race. I don't know if they make it, though, but we shall see. Buffalo, 6-7-1 in November. And so far through the season, they are 11-13-4. I do want to say there are some December games that are in that, too. But regardless, right now, the Sabres just looking like they're in Febreze.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Febreze here. I want to put them in subpar, but I think Febreze is where they belong. When you're last in the conference, you kind of have to be Febreze.
I agree. Yeah, you got to be Febreze. So we'll put Buffalo there in the bottom tier. Just kind of the same old stuff here with the Sabres. I'm not gonna lie. Calgary actually had a pretty decent month when you look in terms of like how they were. They had a 7-7-2 record, and now they are 11-15-4. They were like 2-9 to start the year, and since then they've started winning a lot of games. Calgary's been good recently, but does that take them out of the Febreze tier, LeBlanc?
You're still bottom 5 in the league. In my eyes, that's Febreze.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, shit. Apologies for that. Nordic accidentally pressed close on his tab. So we just closed the tier list mid-recording. But yeah, Calgary and Febreze, I think that shouldn't be a surprise. Again, they did have a good month. I hope they just like kind of level out and be where they are right now. That's probably the best thing that could happen to them. And they stop winning so much games. But regardless, yeah, the Flames are in that Febreze category for sure. Carolina went 9-4-2 this past month. So far through the season, they have a 17-9-2 record. Yeah, I think again, like Carolina's got to be up there in cup contender now.
Yeah, I feel Carolina's also they're not playing up to what their standard is right now. I feel like I look at their past 10 games, including December, but they're 5-4-1 their past 10 games, which is, I would say that's not the standard, but I would put them in cup contender.
Yeah, I think I think they're just going through a rough stretch.
Yeah,
it happens. I think like that doesn't really show what Carolina really is. So
yeah.
I think Kane's a cup contender is the right spot. Chicago. So Chicago had a record of 6-5-3 in November, but at this point now they are 12-11-6. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games up to this point. LeBlanc, I feel like we have come down from
the high
where we were at the start of the year. Yeah, from the high.
Right. I'm gonna put them in subpar.
Yeah, I don't think they've been like horrible.
They're not like Febreze, but they're still a point out of a playoff spot right now. You could argue they're in the race, but as of recently, they've just been a subpar hockey team.
Would you say that they've taken a step?
A step back, yeah.
No, a step forward. Over.
Yes, so definitely taking a step forward. But
okay.
Recently, there's a rough stretch of play. That they're definitely better than they were last year for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Next up, then, is the Avalanche. The Avalanche went 12-0-2 this month, or 11-0-2. They're 21-2-6 overall. They got to be up at the very tip.
No, like you can't. Like it's. I got no argument for them not to be there. Like there's no argument.
Yeah, they've been incredible. Nathan McKinnon, like again, I think we said it in a previous episode of the Northern Block podcast, where like the Avalanche are just like fuck you, like they're just like screw, like they were just pissed off with the loss to Dallas. They're like fuck you, we're gonna win we're gonna win the Presidents now. So that's pretty much been their mentality here as of late. Columbus up next then on the list. The Blue Jackets went 5-6-4 in November and 13-10-6 overall. I think like they're kind of in the race. What do you think?
I put them in the race, but I put them near the bottom. Like I would put them below Boston.
Yeah, I really give credit to Zach Werenski. He's been a big part of why Columbus has been like up there. He's second in defenseman points this year as well. He's been so much fun to watch as like a dynamic defenseman there for the Blue Jackets for sure. So he's got to be there in the race. Dallas with a record of 11-2-2 in November, 17-5-4 overall. The Stars, they have a 25-5 record overall. I was reading my November record. The Stars, as of late, have been cracked. They haven't lost in regulation in their last 10 games, 3 wins in a row. They can't stop scoring. By the way, they're only 3 points back of Colorado.
I see that right now on my standings board here. Yeah, I put them in cup contender as well. I put them in between Colorado and Carolina right now.
Yeah, so like Colorado is like not really running away with that first place spot anymore.
Which is crazy because they've only lost 2 games in regulation.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. It just shows how good Dallas really is. Now they have played a game more than Colorado. That is a factor, but yeah, they've been phenomenal. Detroit, this will be an interesting one. Detroit 5-7-2 in November. Overall, they are 15-11-3 overall. They are just that above the bottom half of the league. Yeah, I think for Detroit, I think you got to put them in the race. I think that's what Tim would say.
I would say in the race. I could argue here subpar. Because Tim was telling us last night that Red Wings are in the basement in November.
They kind of were, yeah. They were not that great in November.
We'll put them in the race. We'll put them below Columbus, though.
Okay. They have been winning enough games to keep themselves right in there. I don't believe they're currently in a playoff spot.
They are a point out.
Yeah, they're a point out, battling with like 5 other teams there for a spot. So yeah, I think that Detroit. We'll see what happens with them, but the Red Wings are in the race right now. Edmonton, the Oilers, 7-6-2 in November overall. Through up to this point of the season, they are 13-11-5. Do you still view them as cup contenders?
No, I don't.
No.
I think their cup window is closed. They've had a very up and down month. I would say the Oil. I kind of want to say the Oilers are just in the race.
Ooh.
I think this next month's good. They're going to pick up, but I think as of right now, we're talking like right now as we record, they're in the race, and they're
It's so hard to grade the Oilers right now.
because the Oilers got these games where they'll score a lot and then they'll win, or they'll get scored on a lot and lose.
I'll put them in the race, but I'm gonna put them at the top.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I think Edmonton, they said they're gonna give it till Christmas to see what happens with their team, but here's my problem. Here's my problem with this. All of after that really bad month of November, now the guys are starting to pick it up here. Like they had a shutout, they had an 8-3 win. Now they're gonna look at the goaltending and be like, that's not the problem. That's not the problem anymore. And then they won't do anything with it. So I feel like that's what's going to happen here. And even if they wanted to address this problem, how are you going to?
Yeah,
You have no assets or anything or any goalie to really trade for. To be honest with you,
all your assets are on other teams. Your assets.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been a big factor here with the Edmonton Oilers so far this year, and has been a big problem why they really haven't been able to get over the hump and beat Florida. Which, speaking of which, Florida, 7-6 in November overall to start this year. They are 14-12-2. They're still 2 games above 500, but they're not in the playoffs. They're 3 points out, 4 points out actually.
What? And I'm saying this because this is what we expect from Florida, which doesn't to be very at least in the playoff picture right now, and they're not. I'm low key want to put them in subpar.
I think on the expectations, you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting them above Chicago though.
Yeah.
But so far, they really have been. And, I don't want to put all of the fault on them because, it's not their fault.
They are injured. They are injured, and I'm not good. Even with those injuries, though, I expected them to at least be near the playoff line. Right now, they're 3 points out of the playoff spot, but they're currently tied for second last in the East.
Yeah. So, again, the overall numbers have been very, very rough for Florida. And again, I think when the guys come back from injury, I think it'll be a lot better. But overall, so far this year, they've just not been what we expected. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest problem with them right now. The Los Angeles Kings are up next then on my list. They are 7-3-3 through the month of November overall this year. They have a record of, I try to find it here, 13-8-7. They are third in the Pacific Division. Now, they are in a playoff spot, but I do feel like there's still some underlying concerns with LA. Would you agree?
Yes, I would definitely agree. I just think their style of play, they play a very boring style of hockey, and it's draining to not only watch, but also draining for the players to play that kind of style of hockey.
It is.
They're not scoring a lot. It's just you could say, they just won 6-0 against Chicago. Okay, and a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. What's your point? The point is they're not scoring enough, and that has to be addressed. And and this team has some good bona fide goal scorers too.
Yeah, they got some really talented guys like Adrian Kempe is dynamic scorer for sure.
Kempe, Fiala, Byfield can get to the net too.
Yeah, exactly. I think right now they're still
they're in the race.
Playoff team.
I think they're in the race though.
You think they're in the race? Okay. Would you put them above Edmonton?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think again they're in there for a playoff spot right now. But I think there's still a lot of problems that need to be determined there. And they are, by the way, they're only 2 points ahead of the Oilers, so they're not that far ahead of any other team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But thankfully for them, it's kind of the same instance because all they really have to do again is just get above the playoff line or finish in a divisional spot or finish third or fourth because the Central is a bloodbath and the Pacific is not. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there with LA. But for sure. Minnesota 11-1-2 in November. The Wild have been absolutely like insane. 5-9-5 overall. They have lost 2 in a row, but I don't really think that's like depicting. I think they are a playoff contender.
Yeah, give me a playoff contender here. Jesper Wallstead like saved the season. We were talking about earlier in the year, talking about Minnesota firing John Hine. You're talking about Minnesota potentially like being a lottery team almost, and then they've come back from that. And Jesper Wallstead has been insane for them, kind of helping them get back up into the third in the Central Division. I like where they're at. I think playoff contender is perfect. Would you put them above Anaheim?
No.
Okay.
No, I would not, because Anaheim's been on a whole nother level from Minnesota this year. But it's not far fetched. I will say that it's not far fetched. It's not like they're miles apart in the standings.
Yeah,
but I'm putting Anaheim above Minnesota in that remark. Montreal 6-5-3 in November overall. This season so far, they are, I can't find them, 15-10-3, 33 points. Montreal has fallen back down to earth, and that really doesn't surprise me that much. I'm sure it doesn't surprise you that much.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
They are still in the divisional spot, but they are tied with Detroit and Florida, and Toronto are a couple points back, and Ottawa as well. So we'll see what happens there. The Atlantic is fluctuating like crazy, but Montreal, I think they're in the race.
Montreal's in the race for sure. I would put them above the Bruins.
Really?
Yes.
Because
I just feel Montreal's also played less games than Boston has.
Yeah,
and they're only a point behind them. Montreal also, I said this on our podcast, but like Montreal, they have the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows, and it's like this, like doing the wave.
Yeah,
that's their whole season right now. If they can find that consistency to trend upward, then they'll be a playoff. But they also find that consistency to trend downward. So Montreal's got a really good team. I want to point that out. They have a really good group of guys. They can be a playoff team. I just think they're going to be in the race most of the year because this whole Eastern Conference is it's a cluster.
Yeah, it is really just a cluster fuck of just like absolutely just like insaneness. So yeah, I gotta agree. I think Montreal, like, they're in just such a middle. They're in the middle of the race right now. I know they're third in the Atlantic Division, but that could change literally tonight, just with the way that the standings are looking right now. Maybe not tonight, actually, because not a lot of teams play, but it's changing almost every single day with how teams are winning a lot more games and that. So yeah, I won't disagree. We'll see what happens there with the Canadiens, but right now I view them in the race. Nashville, 4-7-2 in the month of November. They are currently dead last in the National Hockey League, 10-14-4, 24 points. Yeah, they are in Febreze. They are in Febreze.
There is no chance in hell they're going to be in subpar. And they're definitely not in the race, which means to me only one option. Like, you say, oh, they're still in the race. They're only 7 points back. That's 7 points.
Yeah, that's 7 points. That's still a long distance.
That's at least 4 games of hockey. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Nashville's been putrid. Prayers up to UC Soros and my fantasy team because I have him on my fantasy team, and he's shitting it.
Yeah, poor Soros. I feel for the guy, honestly. I do wonder, like, again, like, if they keep going down this road, like, could we see like trades, like of big guys? I know some of these guys could get dealt, but like the big guys is what I mean.
Trotz, I don't trust him to make a trade though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like, do you trust him?
I will say this though, their young guys have looked pretty good.
Yeah, their young guys have looked good.
But Matthew Wood's been killing it.
Yeah, Matthew Wood's been phenomenal. He's like 10th in rookie scoring right now, I believe. So that's been very exciting to watch, for sure. But yeah, Nashville, again, just they feel like such a directionalist team right now, and they are.
And they don't want to. I feel like this deadline we're going to see guys maybe like Stamkos could be in play here. I think Marchessault might be in play as well.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think there's going to be a lot of that here this trade deadline, and there's already been some rumblings, but it's too far away to really determine.
Yeah.
New Jersey had a really bad month. Overall, like in November, they were 8-5-1, but recently they've lost 5 games in a row. They're 16-12-1. This is a November tier list, so I do want to try and base it off of primarily November. But yeah, the Devils I think right now, like
Still in
they've
the race.
fallen from first and have taken a massive nosedive.
Yeah, they're still in the race though.
Yeah. Would you argue they're at the top?
No, I think they're closer to Montreal and Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I put them. I put them there. Both of the Oilers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
New Jersey, really a rough month or
yeah,
a rough like stretch of hockey here without their top players.
yeah. Injuries, just not playing very well. They did some games where they like, oh, New Jersey is like heavily favored, and they got pip smacked.
Yeah. So I we'll see what happens there, obviously, regarding New Jersey, but yeah, it's really not looked that good so far this year with the Devils and through this stretch of hockey. The New York Islanders have been fun. 8-5-2 in November. Overall, they're like top 10 in the NHL, 16-1-3. I don't know if I view them as like a real playoff contender, but I think they're at the top in the race. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I would. They're definitely in the race. They've really impressed me the way they've been playing hockey.
Yeah.
Like I cannot give enough praise to Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah, I've been blown away by how they've looked with him. Again, Schaefer has been absolutely lights out. Bo Horvat's been scoring at a crazy level. And
Yeah.
not only that, Barzal's really turning it up too. And Sorokin was named first star of the week this past week. So, like, yeah, the Islanders are looking awesome here.
Who's
They gotta be
also on my fantasy team. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we're all good.
Yeah, definitely. They've looked phenomenal here to start this year. So I got to give credit where it's due to the Islanders for sure. And then the New York Rangers, 8-7 in November, 13-12-2 overall. Or sorry, I read off my November record, but they're 15-12-4 overall. They started to win some games here as of late. I think the Rangers are in the race for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely in the race. I put them below the Islanders though.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. They've both been very fun to watch. The Rangers
Still can't win at home. Still can't win
Yeah.
at home.
They're still bad at home. Yeah, they're 3-8-3. They're starting to become a little bit better, but like they're a phenomenal road team, and thankfully a lot of their games have been on the road.
Yeah.
So I guess that is a factor for sure. But yeah, the Rangers. We'll see what happens here with them in the month of December. But the home record's got to improve. I'm not gonna lie. The Ottawa Senators, 6-4-3 in November. So far through this year, they are 13-11-4 overall. They're 24th in the league, which I think is crazy given that they're 2 games above 500. Like, it's kind of wild, but
So this is Ottawa's best November record since 2017.
yeah, that was a really good month of November. I was even saying that, like, the fact that they're above 500 in November is awesome.
Ottawa's had a rough stretch of late. I think they're 1-4 in their past 5 games. They've dipped a little bit, but that's what talking about December. We're in November now, so I got to keep it to that. I feel like Ottawa, I didn't know November. Ottawa was still in the race. They were still in a divisional spot, so I'm gonna put them in the race. I would put them between Montreal and Boston.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. Ottawa just hasn't been what I would envision them to be so far, but again, maybe it's just a rough stretch. There's still plenty of time in the season. They can turn it around for sure. I think
they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. They're 3 points behind Montreal, I believe. So
yeah, but now it's worth noting that Toronto and Florida have caught up to them.
Yes,
so they're both up there with them as well. But we'll see. Philadelphia. Philly is 8-4-2 in November. At this point right now, they're 15-9-3. They've been like good to watch, but like I really don't know what to think of it, to be honest with you. Philadelphia, I think you got to put them in the race. I think they've been fun to watch. I think they got to go like around where Boston and Montreal are, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Would you argue they're above or below Ottawa?
I think they would be. We can put them above Ottawa. They got more points right now.
Yeah,
in less games played too. So
yeah. Philadelphia had a really good month. I think you got to be happy with what they did for sure. So the Flyers do get in there, and then Pittsburgh Penguins are 4-6-3 in the month of November. It feels like they've kind of fallen a little bit off recently, but they are 14-7-6 overall. They're still top 10 in the NHL. Penguins, I think, are in the race too. They are around where I would argue the Kings and Oilers are. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Penguins they started out really hot. They're kind of coming a little bit more back down to earth, but Yeah, they've been solid.
Yeah, they've been fun to watch for sure. Where'd you say you want to put them again?
Put them between Edmonton and New Jersey.
Edmonton and New Jersey. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay, so Penguins there at that spot, and then you move on to San Jose, 9-5-1 in November, 12-11-3 overall. The Sharks have been so much fun to watch. They have fallen back down a little bit. Now they're 14-3-3. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've been impressive. They're in the race, in my opinion.
They're definitely in the race. Like, I think San Jose genuinely, if they keep this up, could be battling for a playoff spot in March and April.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, they have fallen off a little bit recently, kind of like Chicago, but they still had a really good month regardless.
Yeah, I would put them in the race, but where would you put them?
Honestly, towards the bottom, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not like they're one of the lower ranked.
I put them there at the bottom.
Yeah, I think like they're one of the lower ranked teams that is in the race, for sure through this point. And then yeah, so Sharks there are in the race. Seattle, 6-5-3 in November, 11-9-6 overall. They've fallen to bottom 5 in the league where
they've lost 4 in a row too.
Yeah, they've lost 4
in a row. And they haven't lost these games. They've gotten like blown out.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they've fallen back down to earth. Would you argue they're in subpar or Febreze? They're bottom 5. You're going Febreze? Okay.
Going Febreze.
I think like there's an argument for subpar, but they're back down to Febreze.
I always say the bottom 5 will always be in the Febreze tier.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fair as well. So we'll go with that. St. Louis, the Blues, 6-4-5 in November. Overall, 11-12-7. They're no longer bottom 5. They've won a couple of games in a row, and now they are 27th in the NHL. What do we think about St. Louis?
I saw the Blues play recently, actually.
Ooh.
The Blues still don't look great, but they're playing better. They're getting very good goaltending as well. They need to get shots on net. They don't produce that much, but they do. I think the Blues just are getting very good goaltending right now. But the Blues are only 2 points out of a playoff spot now. You can't really deny it. I still think for the month, I want to say subpar.
Yeah, I want to say subpar too. I think like they've gotten better. They're out of the Febreze territory like they may have been prior, but they're still in subpar. They still haven't been
subpar.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
they've been subpar. Like, I mean, there's really no other way to say it. Tampa Bay, 11-3 in November. They had a phenomenal month. They are now first in the Atlantic Division, 16-10-2. Are they up there with the Cup contenders?
Yeah. Let's put them up in the Cup contenders.
All right. They are leading the division, so I'll put them up there. I think that's fair.
They had a fantastic month.
Yeah, they played phenomenal this month. They were one of the really good teams this month. So there you go. Toronto, although like they had a really bad month, like they weren't that bad record wise, 6-6-2. They have strung together some wins since then. They are now 13-11-4. They've been fun to watch overall so far this year with Toronto. I think they're in the race now. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say subpar.
Really? Okay.
What do you think?
Like their recent surge is in December, so I'm gonna say subpar.
Yes, I mean, like a lot of those wins are in December, so I'm gonna go subpar. I would put them below Florida.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So
it's gotten better recently, but I think we'll do that when we do our December tier list.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds fair enough. We'll see what happens with Toronto. They've gotten better, but they still have a lot to work on. It's going to be hard coming from behind, especially in a division that's that big of a bloodbath. If they can get back into the playoffs, hey, that's great. But like right now, like I don't really know if I see them making it. I'm not going to lie. Just with the way things are shaping up to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Vancouver, Vancouver 4-7-3 in November. They had a record of 11-15-3. They are in Febreze. They are an absolute
They
disaster.
they 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 they, they won the other night, but they stink. Like,
Oh, they stink. No, they stink. You can't even use that one because that happened in December.
I know, so they stink.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been a really rough stretch of games here for them so far this year, and yeah, overall it's been not that fun. Okay, so then moving on then to Vegas. I don't know why it's out of order. I apologize for that, but the Golden Knights 5-4-5 in November. So far this year they are now 14-6-8 overall. Vegas for me, I think they're in playoff
I
contenders. I
think
don't
playoff
know.
contender is the right spot to put them at.
I have some concerns about their overall defense slash. Would you put them above Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay. I have some concerns overall with their defense slash their goaltending.
Yeah, and that's fair criticism to have because their goaltending. Who? Akira Schmid?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Aiden Hill's injured. I get that, but even Aiden Hill's not. I wouldn't say Aiden Hill's a top 20 goalie in the NHL.
Yeah. So I have some concerns with that. There obviously is Carter Hart there too. They had Carl Lindbaum up, who like I commentated him twice. He's ass. Like he's just not ready for the NHL yet, and he shouldn't have been up there. But yeah, Vegas. If they can fix their goaltending and just their overall defensive play, I think that like you can determine
They'll do something to at the deadline to fix that for sure. But
yeah. So we'll see. Winnipeg
in shambles.
in shambles. 5-8 in November. They are currently at a 14-13-1 record overall. They have to be in subpar, in my opinion.
I get Hellebuyck's been injured. I get that. He's the MVP of the league. I get it. But this is unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely unacceptable. They've been so just not good.
Here's this now. As of recording right now, they have less points than the Sharks and the Blackhawks.
Jesus. Yeah. That sounds actually insane for you to say. We'll see what happens with the Jets. I think when Hellebuyck comes back, things will solve themselves. But Kevin Cheveldayoff's had a really bad last 18 months. I would.
Yeah, I think we've been repeating that over and over again. I feel, but yeah, it's been a bad couple months for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, definitely. Utah Mammoth. We're back to the Mammoth. 4-8-3 in November. So far this year, they're 14-13-3. Again, the Mammoth are currently in a playoff spot, but this month was not that good.
I want to say subpar.
Because they're in a playoff spot, I don't know if I can say that.
So why don't we put them above the Sharks, but below the Red Wings?
Yes. I don't know if I can say that with them being in a playoff spot, but I do agree it was.
Also, the Mammoth have also lost a couple guys now. They're down low.
Really out indefinitely. I'm gonna.
Yeah. I don't know if I sent that clip of his injury to the group chat, and it was bad.
Yeah, he's been really getting roughed up the last couple of games.
It looks like he shattered his knee, and your knee should not bend that way.
Yeah, he got hurt in the St. Louis game, and then he was fine, and then he got hurt in another game, and he was fine, and now he got hurt again. It's he's gonna be out for a while. So hopefully he's okay. Again, we'll see what happens there with the Mammoth. But if they do keep regressing, I do wonder if they do fire Torgny. We did discuss that in an episode that dropped yesterday when you guys do watch this episode. Mm-hmm. But regardless, the Mammoth has not looked that good. And then Washington, the Capitals had a really good end to November. They were 10-4-2 this month. They now stand first in the Metro once again, 18-9-3 overall. They've been really fun. I think I would go playoff contender.
Yeah, they really proved me wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I knew they would regress, but I thought they were still a playoff team. They are ahead of Anaheim in the standings. Would you put them above Anaheim?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Washington has been. We've seen them do this last year, and so Anaheim's brand new. I'm gonna give the respect to the Capitals. So
yeah, Logan Thompson's been cracked. I talked about him today in my award prediction video on my YouTube channel. How He literally is a below a 2 goals against average with like 30 games played. Like he's literally been insane. So I got to give Thompson some credit where it's due.
Okay.
And yeah, that's the tier list. Anything
So-
you would like to change?
I'm going to say this right now because I feel like it's taking over. We have too many teams in the race.
Okay, so do you want to move?
We should.
I think since the Kings are in a divisional spot, I think they should be in playoff contention.
Yeah, we'll move the Kings up.
And then
We're gonna. I wouldn't. Do you want to move? Do you want to move the Islanders up? I just don't believe that though. Like I can't.
which of those Eastern Conference teams right now would you say like, yeah, they're gonna make they're a playoff contender?
Probably the Rangers.
Yeah, but they're not. You know what? It's November. I'm gonna go Islanders for now.
Let's
They
do
were
it.
a playoff team this past
Yeah,
month.
let's do it. And then I'm looking at. We should move up Montreal to playoff contenders.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think
I fucking hate to say that though. Like
I think they're still probably a playoff team. So we have 4 teams in Cup contenders. We have 7 teams in playoff.
yeah, I
contenders.
think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
or less.
It's
So,
better.
okay.
And then subpar is fine. You feel?
Yeah, I don't really have any problems with anything else in this tier list.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we're good then. All right, we're good.
Okay, there you go. That will do it for this Nordcast Network NBP November tier list. Actually, a lot shorter than the previous ones we've done. A lot of these, I think the last one we did was an hour.
Yeah.
That shows how Tim really helps us out with our arguments. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.